Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second part of this series of March Madness with Isaiah and Landon. In our last video, we went over the first round of the March Madness bracket. Me and Landon had majority the same picks, but we had some different picks where I think Landon overall took more of the higher seeds in some points, while I took some upsets. But overall, like I said, same around the same bracket. Go ahead and check out that first video if you haven't already, and if you are new to either this video or the channel in general, please like and subscribe as it helps out the channel a lot. And we are two young, aspiring sports broadcasters here giving our take on March Madness and giving you guys the only correct and true bracket. All right,
Yeah,
here we go. Landon, second round. Number 1 Duke versus 8 Ohio State, which we both picked. Who do you have?
man. This Duke team is really nice, and Iowa State. I know they really lost to Michigan, but I have this Duke team. I feel like they're unbeatable in March.
Yeah, and I agree with you right here. I have Duke taking home the win against Ohio State. Next game, St. John's versus Kansas.
Yeah. St. John's, they're hot. I got St. John's.
Really? All right, yeah, I have Kansas beating St. John's right here. St. John's, like how you said, they are hot. They're a good team, but I don't know. I have this nice Kansas team taking home a win right there. Here we go. Next one. This is going to be a little difficult. You have Louisville versus Michigan State. I have South Florida versus Michigan State. In this, I have Michigan State beating South Florida. What do you have for Louisville versus Michigan State?
Yeah, I have Michigan State also.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. Michigan State advances no matter what. And uh, in our next game, we have you picked. Okay, like how I said, different opinions. You have UCF versus UConn. I have UCLA versus UConn. I have UConn beating UCLA.
Yeah, I did also.
Okay, and so there we go. Now we are into the South bracket. We have Florida versus Iowa.
Yeah, man. I think Florida's gonna win the game by at least 20 points. Florida, they're a pretty good team, defending national championship. I have them going back to the Final Four. I have Florida.
All right, nice. Next game, Vanderbilt versus Nebraska.
Yeah, I love this Nebraska team. I got Nebraska.
And I agree with you as well. I also have Nebraska here. Next one, UNC versus Illinois.
Um, I feel like without Caleb Wilson, it kind of brings you North Carolina down. But I feel like next up, Steph Trimble and Henry Bessar. I got North Carolina.
Really, and this is where I think UNC's run ends. I have Illinois getting a big win right there. Next game, in the last game for the southern side of the bracket, I have you. Oh, yours is St. Mary's versus Houston. Mine is Texas A&M versus Houston. Who do you have winning?
I got Houston.
Really? Okay, yeah, I agree with you. I also have Houston. All right, and that will top it for the second round on the left side of the bracket. Now diving into the right side, Arizona versus Villanova.
Yeah, I got Arizona. We were talking about the Villanova team from like a long time ago. I would have Villanova, but I got Arizona.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. I have Arizona here beating Villanova. Next game, Wisconsin versus Arkansas.
Yeah, this is where I feel like Wisconsin run come to an end. Like I said in the last in round one, Arkansas has a good backcourt, and Darius Acup Jr., the freshman. I think he's one of the best point guards in the nation right now. I got Arkansas.
And I'm looking at this, like I said, I don't know if I said it in the first video. I actually did complete a March Madness bracket today, but it is not with me, matter of fact. And for this game, I knew it was between Wisconsin and Arkansas, and I do not know who I took here, but off of first reaction And from what I know personally, I also have the Razorbacks advancing and beating Wisconsin here in the second round. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next round we have, which you have NC State versus Gonzaga. I have BYU versus Gonzaga. I have Gonzaga getting the win over whoever they play.
Yeah, I had the same Gonzaga.
All right. Next game, you had Miami, Florida versus Purdue. I had Missouri versus Purdue. I have, ooh, I'm trying to remember who I picked here. I have Purdue here right now.
Yeah, mm, it's like in my mind, I want to
You know
pick.
what? Timeout. I think I remember. I did not take Purdue. I have Missouri beating Purdue.
I got Miami beat Purdue.
All
Yeah,
right, so there we go. Yeah, I'm remembering. I did not pick Purdue in the first or in the second round. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Midwest. We're actually speeding through this a lot faster than the last video, so we will probably also get done with this Sweet 16 by the end of the video, and then do the Elite Eight, Final Four, and the National Championship in the third part. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The Midwest. Michigan versus Howard. Or I'm sorry, Michigan versus Georgia.
yeah. Michigan. I love this Michigan team. I think they'll win by a lot.
Yep, and I agree with you as well. I have Michigan taking home that win. Next game, Texas Tech versus Alabama.
Yeah, I got Texas Tech.
Yep. Like how you said, Alabama in the last video, Alabama player kicked off a team for wasn't it possessing, marijuana.
Yeah,
Uh
marijuana.
so yes, I do have Texas Tech winning right there. Next game, Tennessee versus Virginia.
Yeah. I watched this Virginia team play in real life. They're a great team all around. Tall, lengthy. They got shooters. Yeah, I think Virginia wins this season.
All right, and I will have to defer with you on that one. I have Tennessee with the upset win against third seed Virginia right there. And for the last game of the second round, Kentucky, Iowa State. Who do you have?
Yeah, I got Iowa State.
Really? All right, yeah, this is my hot pick of the round. Listen, I know this is not the same Kentucky team from 2, 3, 4 years ago, right? This is definitely a more watered down Kentucky team, but I think there is some type of hope. They beat Missouri in the SEC tournament. They beat LSU in the SEC tournament. They did take two losses to Florida in that 6 days. And 6 days they did lose to Texas A&M, but they
Yeah,
did also beat Vanderbilt. I don't know. I think this Kentucky team can win. They beat Tennessee earlier in the season, and they've overall looked like pretty good on paper, even though they took a really bad loss to Vanderbilt in January. But I don't know. Hot take pick of the round. Give me Kentucky advancing over Iowa State. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we can probably get done with this Sweet 16 by the end of this video. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. All right, number one seed Duke versus. I'm pretty sure you had St. John's. Who do you have
yeah,
here?
yeah. Angel. Yeah. Well, I think by this time, Duke should be getting back their big man Pat Gumba.
Mm-hmm.
After suffering a foot injury. Um, so that's good for them. And St. John's, I feel like after beating UConn in the I think what conference are they in? They're in the
Oh,
I can't remember.
Big 12? No, I don't know. I know
I
they're.
think they're
Oh,
yeah big.
St.
I think they're the
John's.
Big East.
Oh,
Yeah, Big
St. John's.
East.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know St. John's blew out UConn in the conference championship, but I got Duke.
Yeah, and I'm here to agree with you as well. Even I had Kansas playing Duke. I have Duke advancing to the Elite Eight. Next game, you had what was it? Okay, Michigan State versus UConn.
UConn.
I
Yeah,
had Michigan State against UConn as well. Who do you have here?
yeah. I I don't really like this Michigan State team at all.
Gosh,
I feel like UConn's gonna win.
yeah, and I looking at this, people want uh, this Michigan State team to advance. I've seen somebody said that they're going to win the national championship, and I'm kind of on that boat. Give me Michigan State over UConn. I know that it's crazy. We have two Michigan teams making it a deep run into the playoffs, but I don't know. Something when I was filling out my bracket earlier just told me don't pick against Michigan State. So give me Michigan State, the Spartans, to move on to the next round into the Elite Eight. All right, and that will do it for the East. We are now into the South. We have Clemson versus. Or no, I'm not sorry. Florida versus Nebraska.
Yeah, I think Florida wins this game by barely. They barely win like talking about last second. You know,
Yeah, and
I love the Nebraska
you
team,
know,
but defending national championship, you can't.
yeah,
Uh,
and you're saying that it's going to be a close game, and I agree. But hot take pick of the round. Give me number 4 Nebraska over number 1 Florida. Listen, I love Florida basketball. You know, one of my close friends, big Florida fan, like how you said, defending national champions. But also, this Florida team has taken some shaky losses, during the regular season. Not many. And so has Nebraska as well. But I don't know. Something's just telling me go with Nebraska right here. Uh, so yeah, next round we have Illinois versus Houston. Who do you have here?
um, well, I had no, I picked North Carolina,
Mm, mm. You're right. You're
but
right. North Carolina versus Houston. I'm sorry.
but yeah, I think Houston wins this game.
Hmm. And I agree with you as well. Even North Carolina, Illinois going into this doesn't matter. I have Houston winning that. So there we go. Done with the left side of the bracket. Now into the Sweet 16 side for the right side, and starting with the West, Arizona versus Arkansas. Who do you have here?
Man, I think this is where Arizona gets their toughest game of the bracket right here. Like I was saying earlier, Arkansas has a good backcourt. Freshman point guard Darius Aika Jr. They just came off an SEC championship, but I think number one seed Arizona pulls out barely.
Ooh, ooh. Okay, so you still have Arizona.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say you were making it sound like you were taking Arkansas. I as well have Arizona making it past Arkansas, and like how you said, a thriller match. All right, here we go. Next one we had, if I'm not mistaken, Gonzaga versus Miami/Missouri. So for yours, it's Gonzaga versus Missouri. Gonzaga versus Miami. Mine's is Gonzaga versus Missouri. Who do you have here?
Yeah, I think Gonzaga was this game.
Hmm. Yeah, and I agree. I think Missouri, they made their pretty good run. They beat number 7 Miami, Florida, beat number 2 Purdue, but I have them taking a big loss right here to Gonzaga. All right, ladies and gentlemen, diving into the Midwest section, Michigan versus Texas Tech.
Um, talk about a team like Texas Tech. It was good early in the season. They had their big man JC Toppin, but he tore his ACL about midway of the season, so that was a big loss for them. Leading rebounder, I think in the college basketball, but I got Michigan.
Yep, and I agree with you here. I also have Michigan. Next round, we have Tennessee. Wait, did you pick Virginia over Tennessee? Yeah, you
Yeah.
did. Okay, so for you, it is Virginia versus Iowa State. For me, it is Tennessee versus Kentucky. Who do you have,
Um,
Virginia or Iowa State?
yeah, man. I think this is where uh mm, I think this is where Iowa State gets eliminated. I got Virginia.
All right, and I have Tennessee beating Kentucky. So, ladies and gentlemen, like how we did for this video, this will be the end of this video, and if you haven't already, go ahead and watch that first video. I know you kind of already know our picks, but it does kind of give us a quick rundown on the bracket as well. And since you already finished this video, go ahead, dive into the next video, which should be up by the time this video is posted and you finish this video. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, and I guess we'll see you in the next part.